Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shlitva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. The Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Go a little behind and forward. Vijay to the Master. Sir, you ask us to renounce the wicked eye. Is there any harm in the servant eye? Master, the servant eye, that is, the feeling I am the servant of God, I am the devotee of God, does not injure one. On the contrary, it helps one to realize God. This is very clear expression of Sri Ramakrishna. Again and again, because the I cannot be eliminated, I cannot be destroyed, I cannot be by any means. I will give up. Whatever you do behind your action, thinking, feeling, that I persists. Whatever I don't want, I is there. Except I am devotee of God. I am servant of God. There is no other way of eliminating I. If my I is eliminated, I am in the absolute existence. I am in the Brahman awareness. The whole world disappears if the I disappears. There is divine and divine alone, one ocean of bliss absolute. There is no duality. Duality is created by that I. So I doesn't go, and if it goes, I am in the absolute, which is impossible. It begins with the denial of body, I am not body. How to dissociate myself from bodily existence in waking state, we do not know yet. We are trying to practice turning inward, diving within, trying to go inward. That I persists everywhere. I am turning it inward to love God, to seek Him. The I is transmutated. That is, I am not utilizing in the pursuits of the world except doing my duties as an offering to God, as a worship unto God. There I remain, and here I am servant of God. What all I do, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yat karoshi yadasnasi yat johosi dadasi yat yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushvam madapnam. Whatever you do, offer it to, in whatever sense, with whatever background, whatever intention, you do anything, offer it to me. So here, that kind of life, I am turning this high subject, I am making it subject of God, of Sri Ramakrishna, of Sharda Devi, of Vivekananda, of the greats, avatars, Rama, Krishna. All these I am subjugating, I am offering it, giving myself and keeping it there without allowing it to move about here and there. So this movement, cessation of movement in the world is as good as I has dissolved. It is in the company of God, with God, and doing the duties as His worship, seeing all people as His manifestation. So the Master is continuing. The servant I, that is the feeling I am servant of God, I am the devotee of God, does not injure one. On the contrary, it helps one to realize God. Vijay. Well, sir, what becomes of the lust, anger, and other passions, one who keeps the servant I? Because the human tendencies, natural drives. They are prompted by nature. It's common to all beings, likes, dislikes, and all that. So, in human, it is not only driven by nature, he has his own craving also. What happens to all those lust, greed, and all the kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, like attachments and aversions, raga, dvesha, ego, all that, what happens? If the I is made to servant of God, Vijay, Master is answering Vijay. If a man truly feels like that, that is, I am the servant of God, then he has only the semblance of lust, anger, and the like. Semblance means as if it is there, it is not there, it's looking like that. Because he has given his basis on which they are standing. Kartritva, bhoktritva, jnatritva. They are associated with ego, doership, enjoyership, and knowership. They are associated with ego. Ego is given to God. Now, he wants to have some property or go accumulate wealth. It looks as if he is greedy. But he himself, with all these positions, are at the feet of God. God directs him, use it for such and such purpose, use it for such purpose. Sri Ramakrishna says any amount of acquisition of wealth is not harmful, provided it goes for good purposes, serving the God and others, sacrificing for others. So like that, he has semblance of greed. To look at he is as if greedy, he is working. But he is not greedy. He has capacity, he is utilizing to the maximum, optimum level, to utilize it for the welfare of enjoyment. He cannot share with anybody. It looks he is as if enjoying some nice sweet meat. He is eating. Everything is offering to the divine. His awareness is oneness with divine. So he cannot only think, he cannot, because of his identity with God, because of his relationship with God, he is not able to do anything bad or wrong. Any immoral act or the social codes are never crossed over. So these things remains because he is a servant of God. And whatever is there, it has only a semblance, appearance like that. It appears to be. Just like in television, you see a house catching fire. But the TV set doesn't be warmed up. Inside you are seeing fire. It has semblance of fire on the screen. But it is not actually fire that you must call for the fire extinguishers. It appears to be semblance. So here also all this greed and all that whatever, it has only semblance. That one earlier sentence Sri Ramakrishna says, you see, if man truly feels that like that, I am the servant of God, in the heart of heart he feels all his defects drops away, they cannot re-enter him, he cannot make a mistake, and whatever he is projecting, all that is just a semblance, appearance. If after attaining God, through that he attains God, giving himself, giving his I to God, he attains God. If after attaining God, he looks on himself as the servant or devotee of God, then he cannot injure anyone. He cannot harm also. He cannot injure. See, Sri Ramakrishna used to say, I used to joyfully pluck flowers in the morning for mother and pluck bilwa leaves and bring for worship. Nowadays, I can't even remove a leaf from the tree. I feel it is getting hurt to the extent I see it living. It is just like you feel, suppose you are to remove the finger of a person or your child or somebody, how you feel, that much of pain, that much, nothing has happened. Just imagining you have to cut the finger of your child, how you feel, the same things they feel when they try to remove the leaf of a tree. This is the how they, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, how you cannot hurt anybody, you cannot harm anybody. You cannot injure anyone. By touching the philosopher's stone, a sword is turned into gold. It keeps appearance of a sword but cannot injure. When the dry branch of a coconut palm drops to the ground, the leaves only leave a mark on the trunk, indicating that once there was a branch that at that place. In the like manner, who has attained God only keeps only the appearance of ego. There remains in him only semblance of anger and lust. He becomes like a child. A child has no attachment to the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. He becomes as quickly detached from a thing as he becomes attached to it. You can cajole him out of a cloth worth 5 rupees with a doll of 1 anna. Though at first he may say that with great determination, no, I won't give it to you. My daddy has brought it for me. Again, all persons are the same to a child. He has no feelings of high and low in regard to persons. So he does not discriminate about caste. If his mother tells him that a particular man should be regarded as elder brother, the child will eat from the same plate with him, though he may belong to the low caste of a blacksmith. The child does not know hate or what is holy and unholy. That is, the child is not under the three gunas. The sattva, raja, tama. In three gunas, even sattva, you see, tamas is to be like matter, dull, always unintelligent, and all that. Sleepy, excessive anger and great wrath-like, always agitated mind. All these are signs of tamas. Mainly, we can just label it as ignorance. He is ignorant of the reality, what he is and what this world is. So, he doesn't have the right understanding of himself, of the world and of others. If that comes, he becomes all right. So, tamas is that part. Rajas is intense activity driven by the desires. Rajas. Activity driven by the desires. Sattva is what gives the right understanding of things. Sattva. As things are. This is good, this is bad, this is going to bring good fruit, this is going to bring bad fruit of my karma, action. This is all sattva. And the child is not attached to any of these. I must do good, I must do bad is also not there. This is right and wrong is not there. It doesn't have desires that persist for at all times. Now he wants this, next moment he leaves and goes away, he wants something else. But he's not attached to anything. Similarly, he is that ignorance which makes him caught in the mesh of the world is not yet manifested outside. It is not there. So the child is free from the three gunas. Even after attaining samadhi, some retain the servant ego, the devotee ego. The bhakta keeps this I consciousness. He says, O God, thou art the master, I am the servant. Thou art the Lord, I am thy devotee. He feels that way even after realization of God. Because the realization of God, when do we say, is almost when I have become one with Him. My identity, my close identity with Him makes me understand I am His. So this identity, I am His, or I am, when the intimacy goes, I and you are one, I and you are one. With whomever we are intimate, we feel that, oh, he's never, and we don't want to part from those whom we love, because a kind of identity, oneness, it is like tearing away. Separation from the person whom I love is like tearing away. Tearing away means I'm finding some amount of oneness. There may be differences, but whom I love is always in that state of oneness. So this oneness, unity, is there always. With God, it is there. Even after retaining samadhi, now the servant ego, that oneness with God and I am servant of God are different. That is, from oneness he has to separate and become a devotee. So Sri Ramakrishna is saying, even after realizing God, that is, even after experiencing oneness with God, he retains because when he enters into a higher state of consciousness, he finds oneness. When he comes down to the Utthana sthiti of the normal consciousness, he retains the same thing. I am servant. Thou art the master and I am the servant. Thou art the Lord and I am devotee. He feels that way even after realization of God. His I is not completely effaced, because the I, that is not detrimental to jnana and bhakti, to devotion. It is not viruddha, opposite to jnana and bhakti. It doesn't oppose the jnana and bhakti, then it is accepted. Those vasanas, that everything can remain. I is not completely effaced. I means it is kartritva, bhoktritva and jnatritva. I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, I know. I am the knower. He is not effaced. Again, by constantly practicing this kind of I consciousness, one ultimately attains God. This is called Bhakti Yoga. Sri Ramakrishna is defining Bhakti Yoga. Trying to be mentally and physically, trying to be the servant of God, heartily to be servant of God. In various, whatever possible ways, we begin with the small worship and all that. Trying to be servant of God. Then slowly we try to enter our own being within to know who am I, what is my real relationship with God. How one the inward, then one with scriptures, we take the ashraya. What does Veda say? What does the Purana say about God? all the scriptural knowledge, Guru's knowledge. What Guru tells and gives, oh, this is like this is like this. He explains, Guru explains to the disciple every bit of the, you can see Sri Ramakrishna, even after attaining the Nirvikalpa Samadhi in 3 days, he used to go and sit and discuss about the Vedic truths and his experiences. Go and sit and listen. What he has experienced itself is being explained in new ways. Oh, this was this like that. This is like. He enjoys that, being that. One can attain knowledge of Brahman too by following the path of bhakti. God is all powerful. He may give his devotee Brahmajnana also if he so wills. Everything is, when you realize God in his personal aspect, it is not difficult to know, because the devotee and the Lord, they will be in such an intimate oneness. Whatever a devotee aspires for, it will be instantaneously fulfilled. It becomes true. And including this Brahmajnana, if he seeks, even if he doesn't see the God who has brought him to himself, he one day or the other, he reveals himself. Now you see this form, now you see that form, various forms, and he leads to the formless. Whom I love, whom I keep as my intimate, with whom I can share all my feelings. With them I don't hide anything. So I reveal. Similarly, God reveals to the bhakta his impersonal aspect also. One can attain knowledge by following bhakti. God is all powerful. He may give his devotee Brahmajnana also if he will so. But the devotee generally does not seek the knowledge of the Absolute. He doesn't seek the knowledge of the Absolute Bhakta because he wants to be a devotee, not one. He would rather have the consciousness that God is the master and I am servant, or God is the divine mother and I am his child. So here we see, one thing is, above we saw that in the coming down to the normal consciousness, the Brahmajnani also wishes to retain the identity of a bhakta, because he is working in and through he is all pervading, he is pervading his body mind also. He keeps his center of existence here and works. It doesn't stain him because he is unstainable. You cannot stain it. Just like space cannot be stained. You can stain a wall, you can stain even clouds, but you cannot stain space. Like that, God cannot be stained. So, the God conscious state, devotee does not seek Brahmajnana, the knowledge of the Absolute. He would rather have the consciousness of God master. God is master, he is servant. And he is servant. Even after the Brahmajnana, he tries to retain this when he comes to the normal consciousness. Hanuman was asked by Rama, how do you look upon me? He used to say, when I am body conscious, I am your servant, you are my master. When I move towards the scholastic existence of my individual existence, then Jivatma level, bodily level, Jivatma, the transmigratory entity. Now this, when I am at the Jivatma level, you are Purna and I am Amsha. When I am in pure spiritual awareness of myself being the Shuddha Chaitanya, then you and I are same. Deha buddhya tu dasoham, jiva buddhya twadamshakaha, atma buddhya tvamevaham. I am yourself. So, I am yourself remains only in the samadhi sthiti, nirvikalpa samadhi. Savikalpa also we will not have. In nirvikalpa we will have the total oneness, dissolved state of the individual consciousness in the absolute consciousness. As we come to the normal consciousness, again the body awareness comes. I am body will go away. Mine is body also will go away. Body becomes a divine kendra through in and through which I am working in this world. So that is how he retains the I am servant of devotee, because he sees him working, be it for the welfare of world, under the oneness of God. Vijay. But those who discriminate according to Vedanta philosophy also realize him in the end, do they not? Master, yes. One may reach him by following the path of discrimination, that is called Jnana Yoga. We have read all this. I am just repeating again. But it is an extremely difficult path. I have told you already the 7 planes of consciousness that we have gone through little earlier. On reaching the 7th plane, the mind goes into samadhi. If a man acquires the firm knowledge that Brahman alone is real and the world is illusory, then his mind merges in the samadhi. But in Kali Yuga, the life of man depends entirely on the food. Annagata prana. Sri Ramakrishna used to use the term Annagata prana. The living force in the humans in this particular age is dependent on the food. Food stops, he will collapse. Mind goes in Kali Yuga, entirely on food. How can he have the consciousness Brahman alone is real and the world is illusory? In the Kali Yuga, it is difficult to have the feeling, I am not body, I am not mind, I am not the 24 cosmic principles, I am beyond pleasure and pain, I am above disease and grief, old age and death. However you may reason and argue, the feeling that the body is identical with the soul will somehow crop up from an unexpected quarter. Again and again, we just go on analyzing that I am mano buddhi ahankara chittani naham. Again identify, and next moment we are again working and seeing and acting and feeling entirely as if, as body itself. So this identification has to dissolve. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.